Good morning to you, dear students. In our last class, we learned about the Chola kings of the south, right? Cholas were the king who rose to power when Vijayalaya threw the Pallavas. Okay? Vijayalaya defeated the Pallavas and he became the king in mid 19th century AD. Then after him, Aditya I, Parantaka I, and several other Chola kings dominated various parts of the world. Then we learned about Rajaraja I, and today we will start from Rajendra I. Okay, Rajaraja I was the most powerful king of the Chola ruler. Okay, he is considered the most powerful king of the Chola ruler. So remember this point. So he founded the temple of Brihadeshwara temple in Thanjavur. Also, it is known as Rajarajeshwara temple. Okay, these all things I said are important. You can note it down if you want. And also you can remember. Then today we learn from Rajendra I. So Chola powers reached its peak under Rajaraja's son Rajendra I. So Rajendra I was the son of Rajaraja I. With the help of his power navy, Rajendra I managed to annex the whole of Sinhala, Sri Lanka. So with his navy, means with his army power, he managed to annex, means join whole of Sri Lanka. He also invaded, so earlier it was known as Sinhala. Sri Lanka was known as Sinhala earlier. He also invaded North India, going as far as Ganga Valley and its tributaries. Territories. Okay, territories means nearby states of Mahipala, the Pala ruler of Bengal. So at that time, Mahipala was ruling over the territories of Ganga Valley. Rajendra I managed to defeat Mahipala. So, he managed to, Rajendra I defeated Mahipala and he captured the whole of the Ganga Valley territories but did not advance any further. So, after that, after capturing the valleys of Ganga territories, he could not took control over many places. Means his development stopped there. His advancement stopped. To mark his achievement in the Ganga Valley, he assumed the title of Gangaikonda. So to give a mark to his achievement, he took the title of Gangaikonda. He also founded who was known as Gangaikonda now. If I ask you about Gangaikonda, then Rajendra I took the title of Gangaikonda after capturing the Ganga Valley. Okay. Before Rajendra I, who was capturing Ganga Valley, Mahipala was capturing or controlling over the Ganga Valley. Okay. Is this clear to you? Then he also founded a new capital called Gangaikonda Cholapuram, which is located in Tamil Nadu. Tiruchirappalli. The name of the place was Tiruchirappalli. So Tiruchirappalli capital was Gangaikonda Cholapuram. This was founded by Rajendra I. Okay. So he had a lasting impact on northern part of India. Rajendra I also led a number of raids in Southeast Asia. Raids means an attack. He did many attacks in Southeast of Asia. Southeast Asia, in the southern part, and that is eastern part, which was to protect the interest of Chola traders who enjoyed a thriving trade with Southeast Asia and China. So he did the attack just to protect the Chola businesses, which was coming from South India and China, which was between Southeast Asia and China. China was an especially important market for Chola traders. At time, Indian ships sailing to China had to pass through the Malacca Strait, which were controlled by Asian kingdom of Vijaya. So Vijaya created some kind of problem for those people who were doing trade. That's why Rajendra I decided to give an attack, and after that he defeated Sri Vijaya. Okay, Sri Vijaya was defeated by Rajendra I. You can read this sentence. Attacked the kingdom and defeated his king. The successors of Rajendra I continued to rule till 13th century. Successors means his family members. Okay, continued to rule till 13th century AD. When Chola's power again declined. Then Chola power declined at 13th century AD. It started from 9th century and it ended in 13th century. And who defeated them? Who defeated the Cholas? The Pandyas defeated the Cholas. Okay. So these all things you have to remember by reading the book. Okay. You have to remember all these things. Then Chola administration. So how was Chola administration? Administration means the government, the governing body. Government as like the school administration means teachers, staffs, and headmistress. As you know, as like that, Chola administration means Chola governing body. How was that? So the Chola's administration or the Chola places were divided into. Now our India is divided into how many? In which type the places of India were divided? Into states, yes or no? Then districts, then cities, towns, as like that. At that time also the places were divided. How? Into mandalams. Okay. For the purpose of administration, the entire kingdom was divided into provinces. So states were known as mandalams, and then smaller places were known as falanadus, like districts. Mandalam was further divided into falanadus, means state is divided into districts, as like that. Mandalams were divided into falanadus, and falanadus was again divided into smaller unit of administration. It was called nadu or kuram. Kuram or nadu means villages. Small villages were termed as kuram or nadu, was administered by an assembly of villagers. So many villagers used to rule over these places, and they were self-governing them, means they were looking after their own. The central government or the king doesn't have any kind of power over them, means don't force power over them. They used to govern by themselves. Okay. So there were two people divided, there were two groups divided for looking after the Kuram or Nadu. They were Sabha and Ur. Okay. Some villagers who were working in field or working as peasants had another places named as Ur, and other places were divided into Brahmadaya. Those places which were controlled by where Brahmanas live. Brahman, those Brahman live places were known as Brahmadaya. So what you got? I'm just giving a revision. Okay. As like India is divided into different states. Yes or no? As like that, the Chola people were also divided into, Chola places were also divided into mandalams. State is equal to mandalam. Okay. Then mandalam is divided into again small part, that was falanadus. Then again falanadus was divided into small parts, that were kuram or nadu. This kuram or nadu were divided into Sava and Ur. Sava was dominated by the Brahmanas, and Ur was controlled by the peasants, those who are engaged in agriculture. Okay, this is all about this paragraph. So they had many processes to select these people. So what they did, they used to write the name of some powerful readers in some sheets, small sheets. Then after that, those small sheets were chosen by a small child, a young child. So he will choose the name of that leaders, and then and those names he selected will be made as king. At that time, the people used to do as that. In towns, association of traders called nagarams were sometimes entrusted with the task of administration. So traders means those who do business. Okay, they were called nagarams, sometime entrusted means they were given the task of administration over the villages. Okay, villages means ur or sabha. Here it is not known as village, it is ur or sabha. The places are known as ur or sabha. Okay, you read this, then only you will understand. Then revenue. What is the meaning of revenue? Revenue means, suppose you are doing a business, then doing business, what you will get? You will earn money, yes or no? So revenue is also a process of earning money. Money with investment. If we do a business, then we will get money, as like that. Okay, revenue from land. So kings used to collect revenue from land. So what they do? They did that some peasants were working over. The kings gave land to the villagers, and then the villagers used to do agricultural cultivation and all. Agriculture, not only agriculture, different types of cultivation they used to do, and they give money or crops to the king. Okay, and taxes from trade means taxes from business was also collected, and they were the cheap sources of income for the cholas. Later, revenue was usually fixed at 1/3 of the produce. It could be waived in times of flood or famine. Famine means where there is no water. The kings carried out regular surveys of the land under their control to assess its yield. So they used to go for regular checks. They used to check the places if their people are working nicely or not, just to get the payment. Okay, so just to confirm, if they are working nicely, then only they will get the payment, yes or no? So this is all for today. I gave you the fill in the blanks here. The Cholas rose to prominence again in the 9th century AD under Vijayalaya. Rajendra I is considered the most powerful Chola ruler. Who was considered the most powerful Chola ruler? Rajaraja I is considered the most powerful Chola ruler. Yes or no? Rajaraja I, also known as Rajaraja Chola, is considered the most powerful Chola ruler. Assemblies of Brahmana landlords were called, what is this one? What it is called? Assemblies of Brahmana landlords were called. Okay, you do it by yourself. It is here, yes or no? Read this paragraph and do it by yourself. Land revenue and trade taxes were cheap sources of income for the Cholas. As you got here, land revenue and taxes from trade. Land revenue and trade taxes. Rajaraja I is believed to be conquered Lakshadweep, Maldives and part of Sinhala with the help of his navy. Okay, I gave you the fill in the blanks here. You write it down. Note down in your book. Okay, this is all for today. We shall meet in the next class. So I will repeat the answers. Vijayalaya, false. This you will do by yourself. Land revenue, trade taxes, Lakshadweep, Maldives, parts of Sinhala. Okay, thank you.